to Occultists Anonymous and our Meiji Awakening Chronicle Into the West. I actually have Ash. We are actually doing an Ash vignette. Everybody clap. Woo! Taking her time from her busy schedule, and Layla, who's hopefully being a good girl.
She's been quiet.
We will not jinx it. A big shout out to all our patrons and those who support us, subscribe, all those stuff. But a specific shout out to our patrons: 1D4 Con, James, Adele, Alice, Aiden, Alexander, Alstrid, Bernie, Chris, Emil, Ethan, Jeff, George. I finally finished my PhD. Cat Feathers, Klaus, Michael, Milo V3, Moku, Mozart D minor, Nexus, Nick, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Polkadot, Hubris, Porter, Puppeteer, Riafia, Shaxara, Starfish, Terran, Thomas, Verhex, Vincent, Vortex, and Zoltan. Thank you all so much. You know what? One of these days I'm going to come in here in the edit and I'm just going to speed that up really fast. Just have the okay. I don't really mean that, patrons. I won't ever skip you, I promise. So
just makes it seem like you have it memorized really well and can rattle it off.
Yeah, exactly that. Cut out all my breaths and ums. Yeah. When we last left the Coven, there was some shenanigans up at the revival tent, and then out where the telescope used to be. When we last left Helena, she had been standing guard at that place because there's this great big funnel Imperial magic Archmage bullshit, and Legba had wrapped it up in a quarantine, so it was still there but tucked away where nobody could get it. Isabel was escorting the subject of that spell, Sister Natalia and Father Gabriel, back down to the Jesuit camp. And Theodosia was not covered in the last episode, but was covered in the vignette, was escorting Catherine, who had done a very good job of really punching above her pay grade, and was getting extra mana and extra willpower from you and Legba, so she could actually get through the focus mage site to actually study this spell. And so Theo and Catherine are walking. Yes, Theo and Catherine, those are the two different characters. Walking back that way. Isabel is gone, and Legba kind of draws off, I believe heading back towards his cabin. And I can't actually remember physically where he went, because I know astrally he went to go knock on somebody's door and say, "Hey, Castellan, let's chat," which was a whole other thing. And we pick up with Max, Helena, who is like, okay, Seers have officially made a move in our territory. We warned them, don't do this, don't be doing this kind of crap, and we'll be chill. We don't want to get involved in any Diamond Seer bullshit. You can come and visit, hang out, don't be exploring and running around, don't be digging into mysteries, don't be casting spells. And they did all that.
I thought we were cool. We had our little chat with what's his name in Camelot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I understand these aren't. He didn't do this, and he doesn't probably actually have the power to rein in his people, but I'm blaming him anyway.
Hey, friends at home, just wink at the camera and keep enjoying the episode. Because Ash has no idea what has happened in the other vignettes.
Yeah, no, I'm not aware of what's been going on. Yeah, so basically I'm getting ready to go to war because y'all started this.
Y'all started it. Max gonna finish it, or at least try to. Yep. So what's it look like when Max goes to war? Well, because Helena is out here in her nice dress, and had run out here through the dirt and stuff like that, chasing Sister Natalia out here, and she had been puppeted back towards the tent. So now you're kind of out here in the dark. You've got night vision on because that's one of your praxes, and now it's kind of your move.
Yeah, Cloak has removed the spot with the spell, right?
Correct. It doesn't actually exist here. It's kind of in its own little pocket dimension. So it's still there. And in fact, with your mage sight on, you can actually look up and see the top of the funnel that just comes down and then just disappears. Just like it's cut off. There's this space that isn't the same little space that the, at this point, decade-old platform that the telescope had been on is gone. And so it's just an empty space there.
Okay, well, that all seems secure, at least.
For now.
Yeah, definitely for tonight, at least, until everyone has... the party is over, everyone's gone home. I want to keep watch.
Okay.
And I imagine... trying to think. I want to see about arming our people, so if and when these guys show up again, they're not defenseless.
Mm-hmm.
Still really unhappy about when they came in and stole our cows and murdered them.
Yep, for no reason. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, just start giving our people a way to defend themselves and fight back against mages.
Okay. Any specific plans? Because if you are sitting and staying here for the time being, and I'll give Ash a little heads up. Tonight you're safe. So if after a little bit Helen is like, okay, I'm gonna go do stuff with the rest of my night. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of where she would go for this. And what exactly I want to...
That's true, because you really don't even have like a sanctum here.
No, I just have like my house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that might be start one is, all right, I gotta set up a workshop, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably step one. Because like the Hello is nice, but it's out there.
It's out there, and it's a communal space, right? You would want something that's yours.
So yeah, I think I'll see about setting up my workshop, probably a domain.
Mm-hmm. Any specific spot that you might do that? Because, I mean, classic Abrimos, the church is there, right? You have two churches to pick from. Or, I mean, it is now a fairly sacred and set apart place is the mines, especially on the side of Les Enfants, because while it's still technically being mined, there's so many nooks and crannies and places that Legba has set apart for the Coven's use, places that are dead-ended. So there's definitely spaces there that you could set up. Trying to think of other places. But if you have one.
I'm trying to think of what would be a decent spot. I do like the idea of doing it outside.
Okay.
That would be possible.
It definitely is. It's just always the question of, can sleepers see what you are up to? Now, in your case, you have night vision. So if you are doing the classic witchy thing of just doing a lot of your stuff at night or making yourself invisible, you could definitely do stuff. One of the things that had just come to mind when you said doing it outside is this ridge line. You aren't at like the top of it. This is just the spot where, so climbing up a bit higher and like getting into the more, I have to crawl and climb up a bit into the less walkable space. So you have that kind of Moses on the mountain kind of idea.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of being out under the stars.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I like that. Especially
very much sort of a communing with the heavens type thing.
And I mean, you're already up here. So Bax is like, you know what? It's about time I do this. Okay, I dig that. Yeah. So, I mean, especially between your already physical stature, because folks at home, if you have not been following along, Helena is she buff. She got this. just a glance over with her 8 dots of strength plus athletics. We can easily scramble up the same place that teenagers in town have stuck up to make out and other things, which actually is probably a thing that Helena, teacher, may need to like be a little bit more like, okay, I don't need you all digging in and finding any of my stuff that I set up here. But I like that. Yeah. So it'll probably, probably half an hour to get up into like the real, like, I'm imagining she's not climbing to literally the top of like the highest outcropping, but a good space to set out up in the rocks. And yeah, there's a couple signs that people have come through here before, because people are always crawling up and around because everybody wants to climb to the highest spot and look over the town, stuff like that. But once you're up here, it's like, okay, cool. And then they climb back down. It's not quite in that cozy lover's lane kind of high point or anything like that. So 30 minutes to find a good space where, because I imagine she's probably not even looking for a big open space necessarily, but just like a spot where you can, arms wide, set things out, maybe. Yeah.
I'm thinking very much of like a little, the area that you would get for like a summoning circle, right?
Yeah. And I mean, in reality, how big is the summoning circle? Whatever size you want. But for her, and especially it's a Brimo, so you got to have your ritual.
Yeah,
you grew up Diamond Order. I like that. Do you like decorate it in any way? Because that's going to be the other part of this, is the domain, right? And what you might do to kind of set this up for whatever magic you're working.
I mean, I'm definitely like, I imagine I've got like a chalk, or I know of a rock that can be used similarly, and I'm gonna write
You're
out.
the school teacher, right?
Yeah.
You have a pocket full of chalk.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna like lay out the runes. I'm making a summoning circle. If anyone stumbles on this, they will go, witchcraft.
Right. I mean, you can always just zap it with a little invisibility when you leave, but also like marking up like the walls and stuff like that. Very like Obrimos diagram ritual kind of stuff. I dig that. Just the mental image of like skirts kind of held together as you like lean out to right here and right there, and just very like out of this context. Absolutely, Helena, the school marm, but the stuff you're writing is not the ABCs, but Keys of Solomon and wacky geometric circles.
Lots of sacred geometry.
Yeah, I love that. And then I guess because we discussed previously that you were going to make it a domain. We haven't discussed it previously, but does Helena have a soul stone?
Yeah, I would say she definitely has one. Don't know if she would have had it on her. But I imagine we can just say I went back and got it. Because...
Right. Yeah. Once you made the decision to do it, what is the soul stone? What do you think?
I'm trying to think. It's.
Because it's basically something that's like size 1 or 2, so small, that has your signature nimbus on it, which could be from casting a spell on it or just spending a point of mana to imbue the nimbus on it. So you have such a, I mean, technically you could just decide I want to create a new soulstone, go up there and grab any rock, whatever rock you like. It looks pretty once it has water on it, right? One of those rocks. Soulstone it, set it down. Here's the basis of my domain. You got options.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably like a piece of jewelry that she's had, because this would have been, I'm thinking it's the one that she's had since way before she even left the order. Like, this is her soulstone.
I like that.
I'm thinking of like a cross pendant.
Just very classic.
Or like a locket or a cameo, like a classic bit of standard jewelry that any upper class woman would have.
Doesn't attract any special attention unless you're imagining like soulstone. Okay. makes sense. Okay, cool. Set that up.
It's little, it's nondescript, it's
and just gently tuck it away so nobody can find it up here and remove it, because that's just going to be a whole irritation in itself. Cool. I like that. I'm not even going to have you roll to make the domain, because it's going to be freaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't 6 and 11 dice. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Setting up the domain, and especially talking about all the sacred geometry and stuff like that. I'm sure you're setting this up for Prime.
Yeah.
Cool. Down the hill, some mages who are paying attention. Well, actually, no. I guess creating a domain really wouldn't be like an act of magic. Yeah, so nobody's even getting any, magical tingles or anything like that. Peter Tingle. But all right, cool. What's our next step? Folks at home, I'm not putting Ash on the spot. We've already discussed some of this. It's just what order we're doing it in.
Yeah, basically, I've got my workspace set up, and so I want to start making things for people. And at this point, it is literally just like I'm gonna put spells on random little bits and bobs that I just have.
What do I have in my pocket? All right, you get the enchanted spool of thread. You get you get the enchanted needle. Really, a sword? No, a needle.
Yeah, I want to. Let's see how many. I want to try to arm our sleepwalkers in town so that they are prepared in case any more hostile mages come around when we aren't here.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see about giving them a little wards and signs trinket to like be a shield for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wanting to see about a damage.
Damage is going to be the not sketchier one, the more difficult one, just because it needs to be something that you are hitting with.
Okay, so I can't like let them cast celestial fire with the item.
Ooh, there we go. Sorry,
yeah, you went fuzzy.
I've been fighting the focus, and I just got manual with it, and now it's behaving itself. You could create an imbued item that allows them to cast celestial fire. Yes. So they would have. Oh boy, I gotta remember. Songbird never did this to me. Because if they're casting the spell, they're casting with the imbued rules. Let's see here. Imbued spell. Zoom in, please. Thank you. So they do risk paradox, which, I mean, you're going to have to deal with that no matter what. So they get... The player rolls to cast a spell with a dice pool of the spell's arcanum rating plus the user's gnosis if awakened. So they're going to be rolling, with Celestial Fire, 4 dots to try and land the spell before taking into consideration that... See, this is always funny. How exactly we would go about... Spell factors are defined. Yeah, so they would have a pool of 4 before they took penalties and bonuses for like potency and duration and stuff like that. Now you could patch in Celestial Fire's mana destruction, so they're not doing damage to somebody; they're just shredding. Yes. Yeah. To destroy mana. So they would be able to zap 1 point of mana, and allows them to target Twilight entities if they can perceive them. So it's not a bad one. Definitely could create a bunch of these. The problem is you're also fighting the mana cost, because every time they use it, they're going to spend a point of mana. So definitely an option, especially as a kind of last resort. Make an antagonistic mage think twice and be like, whoa, this guy's throwing celestial fire around, and they can pause a second. What are those little pistols called? Little derringers. Yeah, because that's what it is. Like, bang, what was that? Oh, he's out of ammo, now I'm gonna get him.
Yeah,
but it may be all the time
one shot well.
Exactly. So yeah, we can definitely create a few of those if you want. I might
want to go back through and look and see what other options I would have. I definitely want to give them the shields.
Yes, absolutely. That one would be very, very good to have. The other one that I had thought of with if you want to give them a one-shot Derringer kind of thing, this would be something that you would hand out very, very carefully. Is something like eradicate energy from forces. It's not going to kill anybody because it's going to be withstood by stamina. They're not going to have anything besides the potency of 1, but it would allow them to like reduce the temperature in an area or the light in an area, stuff like that. So that would be an option. Or the very classic Arcana of Gun. It's a classic, and basically using forces with actually you can't use that with guns, can you? Hang on. It's been a minute. Where is this thing? Oh yeah. Because you could bake in the reach for the spell. Oh, can you? Base reach of an imbued item is set by the creator. It always defaults to the same. Advanced, if paid extra for flexible, spell control. Doesn't reduce any paradox risk. So, yeah, they would still be risking paradox even casting that. I was thinking, oh, this will be easy, but you don't have matter.
Yeah. So it's very much handing out spells on my part.
Yep.
Give them a lightning bolt.
Yeah, and that ends up being kind of the same territory.
Yeah, same deals with the.
Though to be fair, we joke about that, but call lightning.
Oh yeah.
It does damage according to electricity rules. Must use this in while the lightning bolt itself is unavoidable, would actually reach, blah blah blah. With multiple subjects, strikes everything. It does damage according to that. So yeah,
instead of throwing a lightning bolt, you just make the lightning hit. Yeah.
And let's be honest, if shit is hitting the fan, we all know the first thing Isabel is going to do.
Yeah.
And like that storm hasn't left y'all since everybody showed up. So yeah, having call lightning around in everybody's pocket.
That's a good idea.
That's a good one. Just might let Isabel know, hey, by the way, everybody's going to be bringing lightning down, so make sure there is a storm, because if there isn't a storm, no lightning. I like that though, just passing out little tokens of call lightning.
And I imagine like I'm going to put the shields on buttons. Just going to sort of go through.
I love that. That's really good.
They look like little shields.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. That's freaking cute. It's like, hang on, give me your shirt. You want that button on, stitch on another one real quick, because sewing on a new button's no big deal. All right, there you go. Yeah. It's going to become a fashion statement. Everybody's going to be, where's everybody getting these little shield buttons? And everybody wants one now.
Yeah, I'm basically going through and I imagine she's got like several going down the sleeves, holding the cuffs together. I'm just popping those off.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. I like that.
And they're little round, the little round topped ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for lightning,
I mean, if you want to get really, really biblical with it, just get you some river stones.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think I might just give you guys rocks with that one on it.
Yep. And just like hang on to this rock, keep it in your pocket. Yep. Oh, I love that. That's so great.
And yeah, basically, I'm going to spend my my night just going to work.
Because each one of these, so jump over to the other book, because casting time, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where the rules for actually making things are.
It is in attainments, under 4 dot attainments, and fortunately, Prime is right there. It's 1 hour per roll, and you will be rolling your like 11 dice, and then you need Arcana dots in all imbued spells times 2. Oh, actually, that is the other thing, because you could imbue both into the button.
I kind of like having them as, because could they choose to cast them as separate spells if they're both in the same thing?
Because what it would be is, per the rules in Science and Sorcery, an item can have a persistent thing, so it just is a thing that's just this always on effect. So that would be like wards and signs.
Okay, and then have the attack as it's active.
Conditional. Mm-hmm. Yep. So when a certain thing happens, which you get to come up with, which, you know, Helena could be snarky or just very tactical. Squeeze the rock twice, or something. You know, however you want to do. Double tap the button like Star Trek.
Basically, yeah. I was thinking of just like either that or like pop it off.
That would be really good. Yeah. Just don't throw it away because you still want the shield part. Yeah. But that would let you do because the Arcana dots in all combined spells, because then the forces is just forces 3, and then prime is just prime 2. So 10 successes are required per little magic button that you make.
Okay, so it's 10 successes needed per button, and it's an hour per roll.
Mm-hmm. And then, because the main reason we're actually rolling these as opposed to being kind of wishy-washy with stuff is A, the amount that you're making, but B, each one of them to get it out of your spell control is going to be a willpower dot.
I was gonna hand them to the sleepwalkers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can hold the spells, right? So yeah,
That's
I'm giving
genius.
them.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Guys, Ash is playing 4D chess, and I'm over here playing checkers. I love it. Yep, they're sleepwalkers, so they can totally hold that for you as long as you have a half decent relationship with them. Cool. So yeah, at that point, we're just seeing how many we can knock out in a night. So let me jump over to my notes so we can figure out who is getting one before the night is up, basically. So who do we want to start with? Or actually, let's not name anybody. Let's just see how many we make. Let's do it that way. That way you don't have to decide your favorite child. You don't
immediately start playing favorites.
Yeah. Jules. We protect the boy. Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I wouldn't pick Jules is because
he is kind of married to his protection.
Isabel's got him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's start knocking out some Gnosis plus Prime rolls. You can throw willpower at this to try and eke out just more of them faster. And then I think I also forgot mana. I know you're full up on mana, but that might end up being
I'm not full up on willpower. I used a lot of them last time.
Yeah.
And it's still the same day, so.
Mm-hmm. I know somebody's yelling. Ooh. Must spend mana equal to the rating of all arcana used in this spell. So that's 5 mana per
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can make...
That's true. What is your limit? Because I know you're full up on...
I've got 20.
Yeah, so you can make 4. Depending on the time. Yep. All right, let's see how many we actually knock out in the night.
I'll use my remaining willpowers because might as well. Oh,
cool, no problem.
Five, okay.
Rude.
So close.
And we don't even get to carry...
And there's a 7. They don't carry over.
Nope, okay, they sure don't. But let me double check with exceptional success. Because I know you get... you add successes, relinquish without spending willpower points or dots. Okay, yeah, so nothing else other than there's one you could actually permanently pull out of your spell control and not have to pass off to a sleepwalker. So we got 1 after 3 hours.
Okay, yeah, I would do that with this then because might as well. That makes it more useful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got 1 after 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have 2 in 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out how long the night would be after this point. It was like 10 o'clock.
It was even earlier than that. When shit went down, the sun had...
It was just dark.
Correct. Yeah, so we're talking 7, 8.
Okay. So it's like 2 a.m.
Yep. Gonna be a long night.
Yeah, I plan to be doing this all night.
Mm-hmm. 5.
Rude. Oh my god.
Oh no.
This is hitting a rough spot.
Yeah.
What is this? I count my hours. 1. This is 8 hours in and I'm doing bad.
Yep. It might be a pick it up in the morning. Well, especially if like...
Okay.
There you go.
I've completed 3 of them.
Yep. And one very well. You are drained, well, not completely drained out of mana. Drained out of willpower though.
Out of willpower, I've been awake all night.
24 hours.
I think this might be call it a night thing.
Yep.
And we'll get back to it
in the morning. Cool. So fun fact for you, everybody else basically ended their session that night. No sneeze. Everybody finished their session that night. So you have kind of the morning to, if there's anything you want to do, I don't have to deal with any of their story plots. So if you want to start off the morning, they're obviously, after the shenanigans of last night, you're all going to want to talk and hang out. I'm sure there's some telepathic conversations that are happening early this morning as Helena makes her coffee. Or actually, does she make coffee or she tea? Or does she go over to Madame Robert's?
She'll go have coffee with Madame Robert.
Yeah, because Madame Robert and you are buddy. We're both upper crust gentle ladies.
That's when we discuss all the goings on about in town.
Oh God,
she's got real good gossip.
It is literally the tea. It is the morning tea. I love that so much. Yes. And so of course she's there and she sees you come in. Did you even go to bed, or is it just like I'm just gonna go just?
No, but I would have I've got life spells that can make you not tired.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. With the 1 dot to try and kind of wake you up, get your day going.
Was it body control? Is that the one?
Cleanse the body, basically. Do you have, because you don't have 2 dots in life yet, do you? No.
I do.
You do?
Mhm.
I'm so sorry, chat. I'm so sorry, everybody. I haven't updated her overlay that says life 2. Ignore that it says life 1. I'm sorry. Okay, well, yeah, that makes life way easier. Yeah, body control is just like, I really don't like doing this because, you know, sleeping, you get to dream, stuff like that. But
I
yeah, it's
enjoy
just like,
sleeping. It's nice, but like sometimes
sometimes you just need to snap your fingers and be like, I'm good. Yeah, I like that. All right, yeah. Because life 3 is where you get the reproduce a full night's rest. But at least with body control, you can just be like, I'm not tired right now. I just need to get on with my day. Which, as we've discussed before, really works for a soldier. Right, it's like, yep. let me put on the combat stimulants from, you know,
pretty
some
much, yeah.
sci-fi game or whatever. It's like, all right, we're just gonna trudge through it. I will suffer this later. So yeah, so you probably actually look kind of okay, but still wearing what you were wearing yesterday.
I feel like maybe I would have stopped off at the house on the way in
Gotcha.
to change to make sure that I look okay, just because.
That's true. Look in the mirror. Yeah. So yeah, you have Madame Robert, who is like setting out the tea, and it's like, it is one of her prized possessions, like a legit, you know, China tea set, right? And just, you know, and like it's in the back room away from the heathens, you know, and stuff like that. But she brings it out for you and probably a couple of her other friends and stuff like that. But
Important guests get it
exactly,
because
yep.
it's showing off, but the rabble doesn't get to look at this or touch
Exactly.
it.
Yep, exactly. So she's setting that out, you know, the very classic, like, you know, attempt at not an English breakfast, because that's, you know, beans and sausage and all that, but you
Or
know,
like the
just,
scones and
yep,
such.
yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
but we don't really have the materials to make a clotted cream.
Nope.
But like, it's biscuits. Biscuits are kind of scones.
Yep, biscuits and probably, you know, probably fresh milk, you know, yeah. Doing what you two can in this rustic environment, and sitting down, and immediately she's like, did you hear the ruckus that was happening outside last night?
No, what was it?
I don't know what. All I know is when I poked my head out coming back from the tent, because of course they had, you know, she had supplied all the non-alcoholic beverages and stuff like that. Isabel had, excuse me, Sheriff Isabel had grabbed up some miscreant. I'm not quite sure, walking with her jewels. I know, like, I don't know who the hussy was, but like the courage on her. I mean, Jules is a fine looking man, but you think you would be more discreet.
Was it one of the new folks?
I don't know. It was dark. All I've heard was Jules was walking along. This woman was tagging along beside him, talking with him, and out of nowhere, Isabel just dropped her. It was a thing, and then Sanite and her walked her over into the sheriff's office down the way, and I haven't seen her since. I'm just saying, and like, as she sips her tea, if there's a freshly dug grave in the graveyard this morning, I'm just saying,
yep.
Sip.
That's certainly interesting.
Folks at home, just enjoy the laughs.
Telepathically checking with his spells, like, hi.
I will tell you, this early in the morning, Isabel and Jules are not on the telepathic group chat line. They appear to be asleep still, or not in the area. I don't know what. Yep. I do, but you don't. But yeah, it's definitely like something happened, and like a bunch of people saw it. Is also the thing that you're getting, and so that was it was after the revival ended. everybody was heading out home, and so I don't know if it was one of the I guess you'd probably say one of those Bible beaters, or somebody from town.
I don't imagine a town person would be trying to stuff out with jewels.
I don't think so either, but yeah. So when she comes around and does her rounds, I'm going to be asking all about it. I'm surprised you didn't see it. Did you go up to the revival? I saw you for a minute, I thought.
I did, but I must have left before that happened. Because I don't recall any of
that. So she nods. She's like, mm-hmm. Did you see anything else? And of course she's like, okay, what tea do you got?
Just fishing. Yeah. I would that Sister Natalia was acting really strange.
I did see that. It was very weird that the Catholics were up at the revival. I thought it was, a pleasant little, we'll all share together, but yeah. I
don't know what's up with them.
Catholics. But interesting. Yeah.
Just something ain't right.
Yeah. They're different. Oh, God bless Madame Robert. She's a nice lady. We should not pick on her. But yeah, so you guys enjoy your tea, sit, other chit chat, and other less important gossip of there is mention of Valosia being out with that boy of hers again, and aren't they a smart couple? And because it's one of the Anastasios. Yeah, of course it is. Flip a coin. Heads, it's an Anastasio family member. Tails, it's not. But other comments of that, because of course during the revival there was also some dancing and stuff like that.
So about who was seen with who.
Exactly. Yep. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, because I hadn't planned for Madame Robert to be here in this episode, but I was like, oh no, at this point, oh yeah, it's gossip time for her. I do think she actually brings up Ike and Rate, and I think probably because he's mayor, he's a frequent topic of conversation, and just kind of nonchalantly mentions that he did seem kind of a busybody the other day when he was in here, and the preachers and the father were in, and everybody was meeting, and he was just really butting into all the conversations. He's not like his father.
He seems like the sort of man who wants to be important.
Yeah, I wish he would just do something important. That's how he becomes somebody important. Open his own tavern.
Yeah, just don't want to speak ill of anyone, but that's all I'm going to say about that.
I think Madame Robert looks you in the eyes and says, bless his heart, sip. Is there anything else you want to chat with Madame Robert about or anything?
No, I think I'm good. I'm just probably going to go home and actually take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a day when I have to be teaching.
Well, and I think we've discussed this, but for a lot of the kids, right, they've got chores, they've got goats to take care of in the morning. School isn't going to start until
it's a couple hours in the afternoon.
Right, exactly. So yeah, probably have time to lay down. I guess try your hand at imbuing again, which technically you don't need to do up in the domain. So you could just do that at the house. It's just that one more stubborn button that you've got. if you want to do that, because you still have the mana for it, and you haven't recovered any willpower, but at least still have the mana for it.
Okay. I'll try it one more time.
Okay. 7.
7.
And 3.
Okay.
How convenient. So yeah, so you have your tea, finally get something in your belly since last night. You have you break your fast. Have some food, out of mana, out of willpower, 4th button done.
I'm gonna crash.
Yep. I have kids in 2 hours. All right, super nap. Let's go. I like that. Cool. Unless there's anything else, because I know we've talked about who you want to meet up and to get these buttons to. We can start that off today, or that can be wrapped up and included in the next session when we get everybody together. I'm up for either option.
I think we can give them out next session.
Okay.
Just so everybody else knows what I'm giving out and who I'm giving it to.
Right. And for me, because there's going to be some travel involved, some folks might want to tag along. Or Legba will try to speed you along.
Either way works. But yeah.
Cool. So in that case, buttons set to the side. Is there any other stuff that you want to do in town, basically like this afternoon-ish? Either while kids are being directed, or maybe even that evening, and we can kind of leave the middle day open for shenanigans tomorrow. Or that big thing. The big thing of, or we could do that in front of everybody and be like, "Ta-da! Flashy thing. Ash is planned out."
I like that.
Okay. I'm totally okay with that. I love Obrimos live to be flashy, and Helena is one of the flashiest Obrimos I've ever met. And that's coming from Songbird being an Obrimos. Yes.
Just gonna stop and think. Yes.
It's Theodosia. No, not Theodosia. Isabel is the most Obrimos Thyrsus I've ever seen, and Songbird was the most Thyrsus Obrimos I've ever seen. And then there's Helena, who's like, Angel Wings, let's go.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, in that case, thank you very much for joining me for a little Max vignette. Folks at home, sorry, this is a shorter episode, but we did all the things we wanted to do. So if you want to see more, then jump to the next episode, which apparently we're going to have to wait another week to record, since some people need to go to New York City.
New York City?
Yes. So it's okay. They're going to take pictures. Maybe we'll get... I still need a picture of the firehouse. I have no idea if that's actually possible. I can't remember if it's a real firehouse or not. But yeah.
I would know Songbird's house was real because we have like
the Puck building. Mm-hmm. Yep, the Puck building. Yep. And you guys have done the National Museum for the American Indian, I think is what it was called. But yeah. Anyways, that's all stuff from the Rookery. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. Because it was really, really good, and
it was a lot of fun.
We had
and
somebody
it's completed.
Yes, that's also true. And we had somebody just completed in Discord the other day, and just it's always good to hear people like, "I did it. It was good. I thank you for the ending." And I'm like, warms the heart. It had some twists that I did not expect coming. There's some good resolution. There's other stuff that it's like, the adventures continue for some characters. It was just it was a good ending. Every now and then I'm like, do we bring it back for one more special episode? I think it's fine to leave it in the past. But if you want to discuss that, if you want to discuss Into the West, come by Discord. That's www.eatinto.space. If you want to support us monetarily, that's www.staylucky.club. We'd love to chat with you. We appreciate any of your support. Again, it's not required or necessary. And then, come by Discord, chat with us about our games, chat about your games. We had somebody else just finish a 40 session Mage Chronicle, which maybe we should have done 40 episodes because both Into the West and The Rookery are long.
We got a little out of hand. We just keep following plots.
Yep.
We're having a good time.
But yes, come by, talk about your mage game or your D&D game or anything like that. We love to talk about your guys' stuff. If you got questions, if you want to jump in and learn the game, come by, because we have a very, very good know-it-all community. They will happily tell you that you're right or wrong or how to do it, but in just actually really pleasant ways.
Friendly people who know what they're talking about. Yeah, they're nice. Everybody wants to help you.
Yes. We may judge you for some of your homebrew stuff, but if you're just asking how the rules are working, we'll happily tell you. But yes, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.